Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. I haven't done a Trump impeachment circus update for a while, so I thought I would do one today. Today's news is, well, I'm recording this on a Friday. You're seeing this on a Monday. We'll see how many legs or how much legs. I don't know how you phrase it, but we'll see how many legs. I guess a centipede has 100. We'll see how many legs this story has that I'm about to share with you right now. You may already know about it, but it's very strange that stories that are unfavorable to Democrats, even though Fox News and the Washington Post reported this story, it's just funny how stories that are bad for Democrats, and especially for Joe Biden or other Democratic presidential candidates, they just seem to disappear so quickly. I don't understand. I guess it's just a coincidence. Amazing coincidence, though. So we'll see. Maybe this one will have legs. And this is the story. State Department official told Congress he raised concerns about Hunter Biden's Ukraine dealings in 2015, but was ignored. A State Department official focused on Ukraine policy told Congress this week he raised concerns about Hunter Biden's role on the board of a Ukrainian national gas firm in 2015, which, if you don't have time to consult a calendar, just trust me, this was 4 years ago. So 2015, but was rebuffed by former Vice President Joe Biden's staff, which said the office was preoccupied with Beau Biden's cancer battle, Fox News has confirmed. Now, I'll just say right away, obviously, I'm sorry, we're all sorry about what happened to Joe Biden's son, and our hearts go out to his family. But having said that, I don't see how this would stop his staff from looking into this concern that was raised by this official while Joe Biden was dealing with his family tragedy. So sorry about Biden's son, but this does not hold water for me. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State George Kent, who testified behind closed doors before committees spearheading the formal House impeachment inquiry, told congressional investigators that he had qualms about Hunter Biden's role on the board of the Ukrainian energy company Burisma Holdings. First of all, this is part of the so-called impeachment inquiry, which is not really an impeachment inquiry. The testimony, I'll get back to this a little bit later after some more quotes, but it does not seem to be going well for the Democrats, because you have Sondland, Gordon Sondland, the ambassador, testified earlier that he just said flat out there was no quid pro quo. Now you have this raising of concerns about Hunter Biden's role in Burisma. This was raised 4 years ago. So what is the complaint about Donald Trump raising this identical concern in 2019 about the same thing that this Assistant Secretary of State raised concerns? A congressional source confirmed to Fox News on Friday that Kent testified that when he brought his concerns to the office of the vice president in 2016, his staff blew him off, quote, blew him off, unquote, and ignored the issue involving the younger Biden's role at the firm. The Post first reported that the staff said they did not have the, quote, bandwidth, unquote, to deal with the issue as his other son, Beau Biden, was battling cancer. Beau Biden died in 2015. So I already had to say what I had to say about that this explanation does not hold water with me. But also the way the staff reacted, according to this, he described it as blowing him off. They blew him off. That's a lot different than just saying that we have these other concerns. We appreciate your bringing this concern. But what would have stopped Joe Biden from dealing with this after his son's tragic death. It looks like this is what Assistant Secretary Kent said, ignored the issue involving the younger Biden's role at the firm. Okay, so you can read into that what you will. I think I made it pretty clear what I read into it. Biden's campaign responded to this story on Friday by ripping into President Trump. Quote, Donald Trump's unprecedentedly corrupt administration is melting down because of the scandal he touched off by trying to get Ukraine to lie about Joe Biden. And as the vice president said yesterday, he should release his tax returns or shut up, unquote, a Biden campaign spokesman told Fox News. Quote, on Joe Biden's watch, the U.S. made eradicating corruption a centerpiece of our policies toward Ukraine, including achieving the removal of an inept prosecutor who shielded wrongdoers from accountability, unquote. You see me smiling a little bit, just this quote, it has to make, I would imagine, some of you smile too. Eradicating corruption. Okay, well, that's what Trump said he wanted to do in that July 25th phone conversation. So, again, what is the problem? The same thing that Joe Biden said that he was concerned about. But if Joe Biden is concerned or so concerned about eradicating corruption, then how does he countenance his son being on the board of Burisma, a company that is being investigated for corruption? Our Democratic friends talk so much about not even corruption, but just the appearance of corruption or a conflict of interest that this Assistant Secretary of State raised way back in 2015. You can see why I smile. This whole paragraph, this whole quote does not hold water with me. It's an attempt, obviously, to deflect attention away from Biden to Donald Trump. And finally, this phrase, release his tax returns or shut up. What does Trump's tax returns have to do with Ukraine and Joe Biden? Nothing that I can see except an attempt here to deflect attention from Joe Biden. So one more quote, wind this up here. Meanwhile, during his deposition on Tuesday, sources told Fox News that Kent spoke extensively about accusations of corruption linked to Burisma, noting it was a, quote, big problem, unquote, as it relates to Ukraine. Burisma, the Ukrainian company on whose board Hunter Biden sat. So I will just say, speaking for myself, that in that July 25th phone conversation, Trump was perfectly justified in raising this issue about Hunter Biden being on that board, and then Joe Biden countenancing his son being on that board, and the whole, well, just to use the phrase, appearance of impropriety. And so to wind this all up, to put a nice little bow around it and relate this to the larger issue of impeachment, the main point I want to make is this whole impeachment process does not seem to be going well for our Democratic friends. I guess it's a good thing, and well, it's bad for democracy that they're doing all this in secrecy, but I guess it's good for them in a way because it at least somewhat limits the embarrassment that they must be feeling. At least I would, unless they're completely shameless, and I hope they're not completely shameless. I could be wrong. I'm not always right. Could be wrong about that. Well, Adam Schiff, he is completely shameless. And maybe Jerry Nadler too, but you don't hear much from Jerry Nadler lately, do you? Because he botched up his hearing so badly that they don't want him taking care of the impeachment inquiry, quote unquote inquiry, that is not really an inquiry, so they turned it over to Schiff. just looking at events since then, I don't see how much better a move that was. I don't see the House voting to impeach. Well, I mean, if they won't even vote for the inquiry, how can they vote to impeach? Again, as I said in a past video, I think they're just fishing. They're trying to come up with something. They're interviewing all these people, doing it in secret, leaking aspects of the hearings that are favorable to them. Fortunately, there are Republican representatives in the hearing to leak at least a little bit that's favorable to the Republicans, such as Sondland just testified, and he said, as I said at the outset of this video, today's video, that he said there was no quid pro quo. I think Nancy Pelosi is in a pickle. I guess my only advice would be to, well, I guess I shouldn't help the Democrats. I was going to say, as the old saying goes, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. But on second thought, I think they should dig as much as they want to dig. It doesn't seem to be helping them. As for the rest of us, my advice is vote a straight Republican ticket in 2020. The best remedy for this malfeasance, I guess I would call it, that the Democrats are doing in the House would be to, as this old phrase goes, throw the bums out and put in some Republican bums. They would be bums too, let's be honest, but they would be our bums, and at least all this impeachment nonsense would stop. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by as usual. Thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would like the video too. If you have any comments, put them in the comments section. And if you want to make me feel good, which isn't that what life is about these days, according to our Democratic friends, that we should all feel good about ourselves. So if you subscribe to my videos, you will feel good about yourself. I will feel good about myself, and I will feel good about you. You see how this works out for everybody to subscribe? It even works out for China if Chinese people subscribe. And you could probably help to do that just by subscribing yourself. I can't tell you how, but trust me. Somehow it will all work out. And finally, come back and see me again. Look forward to seeing all of you. And until I do, bye.